right. Well, my favorite time has come. I'm putting Sam on the hot seat, covering all the latest hot topics in Minnesota sports called What Does It Mean? Sam, are you ready?
I'm prepared. I'm nervous, of course. I feel the heat, but let's do this.
All right, first up, what does it mean with Sam? Shohei Ohtani struck out 11 and added 2 hits and an RBI in one of the greatest two-way performances at Fenway Park since Babe Ruth. What does it mean when trying to project Ohtani's place in MLB history among the greats? Like, how many years of this do people need to see to say, okay, it's not a fluke, he's able to stay healthy? You get to the point where you say, wow, he is legitimately one of the greatest players to ever play this game.
Yeah, it's not going to take long just because he's so unique in the things he does. And I know he's not hitting this year yet like he did last year, when he was a 100 RBI, 46 home run guy. That's one of the greatest baseball seasons we've ever seen from a pitcher/hitter. I mean, truly, this doesn't happen anymore to have a two-way player like this. So, he's already, honestly, etched his place in history. Now it's about, how big is the legacy going to be? Injuries have been an issue, and that's the cost of trying to do what he does, is that the arm is fragile, right? So you're not always going to be in the lineup every single day. And, a time may come, Luke, and I wouldn't be surprised about this. If he gets to age 30, he's 27 right now. If he gets to age 30, they might turn him into a full-time position player just because, he can't do that to his body any longer. And he's more valuable probably to be in the lineup every day with the way his bat works. I mean, if he was just a 250 non-power hitter, that's different. But he is such a threat in that lineup that you need him in the lineup every day. So have him do this for a few more years, in my opinion, and then make a call based on where he's at. But I think he's already, pretty epic in MLB lore. And I loved his hit yesterday where, Fenway's got those old boards in the outfield where they literally post a manual number on the scoreboard to indicate the player or the score. And Ohtani wallops the ball off the big monster and rattles it so that the numbers fall down out of their slot. It was wild. The guy is amazing, and I love watching him.
Sam, I could see you doing that once you retire from your great broadcasting career, just being that guy out in the outfield, changing the numbers. You ever think about something like that?
Yeah, I've considered it. I feel like it'd be a little lonely behind the wall. I want to have more glory than that, I'd like to be maybe a beer vendor, peanut vendor, where people can see me. I think I would need to bask in the sunlight a little more than be in the bowels of Fenway Park.
Hey, great bennies, great benefits. Get to see those 81 games a year, right? Something like that. And hey, great resume booster as well for that LinkedIn profile. All right, number 2, what does it mean? It was believed by many when the San Francisco 49ers mortgaged their future to trade up to number 3 and draft Trey Lance that he would be now the clear-cut starter heading into 2022. However, the Niners staff has reportedly been underwhelmed by him and his lack of development. What does it mean for the 49ers quarterback situation when projecting their 2022 season? Remember, still got Jimmy G on the roster. A lot of people thought guys like him and Baker Mayfield would be moved by now, but no, it's still a two-man race as it stands today.
It's pretty awkward around the Browns and 49ers facilities these days, is it not? Couple quarterbacks that you pretty publicly wanted to get rid of, and they're still here. Some little side eye going on in the hallway, like, is this guy ever going to leave? Yeah. So that's awkward. I guess it's good now that they didn't trade Garoppolo, because now he could end up being their guy for one more year. I think he's got 1 year left on his deal, and that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for a team that was in one Super Bowl with Garoppolo and a couple plays away from another. The guy finds a way to win. I mean, you talk about Cousins putting up big stats and not winning. Garoppolo wins and doesn't put up big stats. It's kind of amazing how that goes. But unless the Browns, unless the Panthers swing a deal for Garoppolo or Mayfield, that's kind of the one team left that I think could still take one of them off their hands. So they're probably both trying to, sweeten up a deal. But as far as Lance goes, taken with the third pick, and I thought he looked decent in his outings last year. To say that he's not developing well, that's a little bit scary. It's kind of interesting where that would come from, unless the 49ers were trying to sort of smooth the path for Garoppolo to come back and be welcomed in, and explain to the public why that decision was made to keep Garoppolo. So maybe they're laying the groundwork for Jimmy G to come back.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And again, remember, a little small wild card or X factor to this whole 49ers offense is Deebo Samuel going to end up being around long term. You're trying to bring in a young developmental quarterback. You can't get rid of your X factor superstar mismatch weapons like a Deebo Samuel. Going to be interesting again. That's why I usually see all these deals done before the draft, because like you said, the well is run dry now. Tennessee Titans, okay, they were rumored to maybe need a quarterback. Well, they just drafted Malik Willis. Atlanta Falcons, they draft Desmond Ridder. So they got their quarterbacks for the future and the veteran starters for 2022. Going to be interesting again to see where guys like Baker Mayfield and again Jimmy G end up going, if anywhere at all. All right, last one. What does it mean with Sam? Phil Mickelson reportedly dropped $40 million at the casinos from 2010 to 2014 after government auditors investigated Mickelson's finances over the 4-year span. What does it mean when evaluating Mickelson's reputation as one of the best golfers on the PGA Tour of his era? I mean, how does this put a little black eye, a little, tarnish his just kind of reputation as far as, again, what he's done on the tour in his prime?
Mickelson is one of the most complicated figures in sports right now, and I am absolutely reading that unauthorized biography that Alan Shipnuck is releasing. I mean, the guy has done an incredible job of just releasing these compelling nuggets. So I think the comments about the Saudi Golf League are probably a little more incriminating to Mickelson's reputation right now, because he sort of dismissed the human rights violations in Saudi Arabia to justify his behavior, kind of, going to make $20 million in the Saudi Golf League to try to stick it to the PGA Tour. That made a lot of people very upset. And that led to Mickelson's current radio silence. A lot of people suspect that he's being covertly suspended by the PGA Tour, sort of behind the scenes. That's why he hasn't played in 3 months. As far as the gambling goes, Mickelson has almost been revered weirdly for like his epic gambling stories. People are like, oh man, you got to play a skins match with Phil. It's crazy. Like, you hear these rumors about Phil like walking off the 18th green and laying down $500,000 on Sunday Night Football, like stuff like that, because kind of almost like boosted his lore. And I know there's the insider trading stuff, which was messy, and he's kind of been adjacent to that. But I think too, like, that had to be really hard on his family to lose $40 million. And I know the guy's worth probably 9 figures, but to lose that much and be that reckless, I'm sure that took a toll on him personally and his family. So I'm guessing that it's not all fun and games with Mickelson and the fun little skins matches and the money being tossed around. It's pretty serious. So I still would love to see Phil play at a high level once again. I mean, 1 year ago, we were cheering him wildly as he won the PGA Championship. But unfortunately, I think, decisions of his past have kind of come to roost, and the whole Saudi League trying to interject himself into that has muddled things. But like Tiger, after transgressions, if you like show contrition and you show that you can still compete and be, a good individual, I think there is forgiveness down the road for him.
Can you imagine just creeping up, walking into the casino and seeing Phil Mickelson in the high stake? What do you think, knowing these numbers that have gotten thrown out, just real quick, what do you think's like the biggest bet or how much money he's put on one hand of blackjack before?
Oh man, I mean, he's playing in the high rollers room for sure. I feel like you got to play the sports books when you're rolling that big, because a lot of times, if you are established as a high player in those casinos, they'll let you, raise those minimums, because they know over time they're going to take you and take your money. And it seems like that's what they did with Phil. So they're saying, Phil, you got another $1 million bet for us? Bring it on. We're eventually going to win this fight. And that seems like that's what happened. I'm guessing he had 7 figures on some boxing matches. He and Floyd Mayweather could probably go back and forth with their bet slips.
Yeah, I'm sure he's had plenty of hotel rooms comped by the casino. Hey, there's free soda and coffee over here, Phil. I know you just dropped 1.5 tonight, but we got a free soda machine right over here. Get yourself an Arnie Palmer on your way
That'll
out.
make
right?
up for it.
He survived the gauntlet. Back here Monday, recapping games 3 and 4 versus the Blues, and the Twins taking on the Oakland A's in a 3-game series starting tonight at Target Field.